John, here we are at Bunratty Castle Folk Park. It's a gorgeous day. It's the height of the summer season. It seems really busy. I know you've invested over €1 million recently. Tell us how things are going.
Things are going generally very good. It's been a good season so far. I think the general tourism market is up. Our numbers probably overall would be up about 8%.
Very good.
It's probably our best year therefore since 2008, which is good news for us. It's particularly busy at the moment. The weather's good, but also the All-Ireland Flag Show is happening in Ennis, just up the road, and we've got a boost from that without a doubt. There's 400,000 visitors due this week into Ennis, and we're getting a general uplift from that.
Excellent. So it'll be a very busy week.
Yeah, it's been busy so far, and we're expecting it to get even busier towards the weekend.
Good. And the investment you've put into Bunratty Castle Folk Park recently, tell us a little about that.
Yeah, we've put in a number of exciting investments into Bunratty. We found that, I suppose overall we assessed the visitor experience as being quite good, but a lot of room for improvement. So we felt that we would go back to basics. We didn't really want to change the fundamental idea behind the folk park, which is effectively bringing people back in life about 150 years. So we felt that was a good story, and we wanted to do that in a very authentic way. So one of the things we did was to reinvest in all of the basic facilities around the park. So we cleaned and tidied up all of the farmhouses. We invested in a lovely new fairy village. We also invested in the infrastructure around the animals in the park, and we also brought in a number of traditional Irish breeds, new traditional Irish breeds, again very consistent with the whole message of the folk park. So a lot of investment in the basic infrastructure, and then what we also did was we upped our game on the animator side, so we have a lot more people to engage with the visitors, because that's something that the feedback would tell us is one of the most important factors of any visitor experience, but Bunratty particularly. People do expect to meet the animators and the people that are in the various farmhouses, etc.
Very good, and I can see that the experience on the ground is really compelling. What sort of nationalities would you see on an annual basis here to Bunratty Castle and Folk Park?
Yeah, I mean, we've traditionally had people from all over the world in our famous medieval banquets here, which we hold twice a night in Bunratty Castle. We would predominantly have a USA market, and that would be expected because of our location adjacent to Shannon Airport. But also a lot of Irish people, believe it or not. The folk park is about 30% Irish, and again, August would be our traditionally busiest month for Irish people. That tends to be the Irish holiday. A lot of UK visitors as well, and Europeans. The numbers would tend to follow the air access in, so our numbers would tend to be German, French, Italian, UK, effectively all the places that are served by both Dublin and Shannon airports.
Very good. And of course, Shannon Heritage is more than just Bunratty Castle and Folk Park. There's a number of visitor attractions and visitor experiences within the portfolio. Most recently, the GPO Witness History Museum in Dublin. How is the heritage sites as a whole doing?
Overall, we're up across the board. Most of the sites have done very well in the last number of years. It was a big decision back in 2011 to expand the portfolio into Dublin, and we felt overall that it's a small island, and we felt that people were visiting the island and were spending 10 days or 2 weeks, and effectively they were making their way right round all the tourism hotspots. So our view was, if we could expand into different areas of the country, and Dublin was the most obvious, that we would probably get the same visitor twice and be able to move them from one of our sites to another. So we felt that Dublin was a good starting point. We took Malahide 4 years ago, and then we won the contract for the new GPO centre this year, so that's been 2 good additions to the portfolio.
And do you find tour operators and coach operators are programming a number of your sites in the one tour?
They are, because the conversations we have with them about their itinerary now can include the Dublin sites, which wouldn't have been possible before because a different operator would have had those. So that's really the advantage in expanding the sites, is that you have effectively the same international customers bringing visitors here, and that's, you can expand from one site to another, and then of course you can cross-sell from one site to another.
Absolutely.
When a person visits here, we can interest them in some of the other sites if they're moving around the country.
And you have a national footprint to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And tourism is vital, of course, to this region, the Shannon region. I think it's 1 in every 8 jobs within the area Do you think more could be done by the national tourism authorities or the agencies or the industry as a whole to foster greater regional development?
There's probably always more can be done in that space. I think Dublin is booming. I think it's very obvious that Dublin Airport is booming, and that's good news for the country as a whole, and it makes perfect sense that that would be promoted as the main access point, the capital city. So that's all logical. But of course, from this part of the country, we would always want, of course, our share of the market, or at least as much as we possibly could get. The development of the Fáilte Ireland Wide Atlantic Way has been, I think, a major boost for the West. I think the Wide Atlantic Way is a particularly beautiful area, and I think Fáilte Ireland in particular have put that on the map very well over the last number of years, and I think that will last well into the future. So that's one big positive we've had. I think Shannon Airport is really crucially important for this area, and the future of Shannon Airport is so important to all of us. And I think if anything could be done, in my sense would be that if there's routes and cargo or whatever type of business that doesn't make sense for Dublin, that could be directed to Shannon, whether it's additional business when the main runway has been built there over the next number of years. I think that's where Shannon could benefit. It doesn't make sense for Shannon to compete directly with Dublin. I think there's more niche areas that Shannon could get involved in that maybe isn't there at the moment.
Perfect. John, thank you so much, and best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thanks very much, Owen.